Screens, live visuals of Prime Minister Modi at the moment at the War Memorial. Remember, we have walked you through Prime Minister's itinerary. He began with paying his respects at the Rajghat. Then he went to Sadaiv Atal to pay respects to late Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji as well. And at the moment, as you can see on your screens, he is at the War Memorial. So that are a couple of things that Prime Minister do usually follow before he does something grand. Today, of course, is going to be a big day for him. It's going to be historic. This is the third time in a row that he will be elected as the Prime Minister of the nation. We have CNN News 18's Arun Dhanto also joining us in the broadcast this morning. Arun, a very good morning to you. Certainly a very big day as we just spoke of. It's going to be historic for Prime Minister-elect Narendra Modi. Third consecutive term for him as the Prime Minister of the nation.
Absolutely historic day for Prime Minister designate Narendra Modi today, because he is going to take oath at Rashtrapati Bhavan at 7:15 p.m. along with, of course, with his Council of Ministers. And before that, in the morning, Prime Minister is going to, in fact, as we speak, he's in War Memorial at this moment, paying his tribute to all the soldiers who have, sacrificed their lives for the country. And in fact, before this, he was at Atal Tunnel and Rajghat, where, of course, Atal Bihari Vajpayee paid respects to him, somebody who has been an inspiration, and also, importantly, the party founder, Bharatiya Janata Party's founder, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and he also paid his tribute and respects to Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation. And he's been speaking about it, that how he has learned many lessons of his life from Mahatma Gandhi. So I think it's an all-important day, and that is the reason why you see Prime Minister designate Narendra Modi offering his respects to Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Mahatma Gandhi, and also right now, as we speak, at War Memorial, where he's paying his respects to all the soldiers who had, in fact, sacrificed their lives for the country. And of course, after this, there will be a lot of developments which will take place during the day. We are given to understand that in today, at the breakfast, all those MPs would be invited who perhaps be going to be part of the Council of Ministers, who will be taking oath later on in the evening along with Narendra Modi. So I think it's a very important day and also historic, because he is going to be the second person after Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru who has won consecutive 3 terms as Prime Minister. So I think it's a very significant day for him, and also, of course, for a party who came into existence in 1980, and today, on the cusp of history.
Right, exactly. And this time around, it's going to be very interesting to see the steadiness of Modi 3.0, Arun, because the coalition compulsions are, of course, going to be there. It's going to make up how exactly Modi 3.0 cabinet is going to look like, with, according to the word, very few of the members getting more than one portfolio. What is the word that you have received from the ground over that particular issue?
Well, see, though it's a third consecutive term for him, but this time, of course, there is some compulsion of the allies, and therefore, you saw day before yesterday, there was a meeting at JP Nadda's residence where Amit Shah and Rajnath Singh were present, and all the allies, whether it is BJP, Shiv Sena or JDU, they all were there. So a one-to-one meeting happened with all of them. Perhaps it has been communicated to them what BJP wants, what role and how many portfolios they want to give to the allies. And of course, negotiations would have happened. So we're given to understand that at least 40 to 45 ministers, Council of Ministers, will be taking oath with Prime Minister designate Narendra Modi.
Obviously. And Arun, also, if we were to talk about the members, the ministers that will be taking oaths today, according to the protocol, those who will be taking oath today will start getting calls from today onwards. Apart from that, the opposition is also likely to get the calls from today onwards in order to attend the mega ceremony of the oath taking of the Prime Minister as well as the entire cabinet. Do we have any word about the opposition being invited for the ceremony tonight at this point of time?
Well, I think invites would have gone to the opposition leaders as well, and now it is up to them if if they want to attend the ceremony or not. Because I'm given to understand that some of them have already said no for the invite, that they will not be participating in the ceremony. We do not know who all are going to be attending this oath-taking ceremony, which will be taking place at Rashtrapati Bhavan. But yeah, there are few opposition leaders who may not to be attending this. Some of them have already made it very clear that they will not become part of it. I think, but of course, the important thing is that are going to be invited to this, and those going to be from these walks of
I think the connection is a bit patchy, Arun. We'll request you to go to somewhere where the network is a bit more stable, because we couldn't clearly hear you. But if we were to talk about what exactly is happening at the moment, we are flashing the live visuals of Prime Minister-elect Narendra Modi at the War Memorial after he paid his regards at the Rajghat to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Apart from that, he then went to pay his regards and respects at the Atal Samadhi Sthal, which is Sadaiv Atal, as well, to pay his regards, his respects to the late former Prime Minister of India, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. At the moment, he is at the War Memorial, as you can clearly see on your screens. Arun is certainly back with us on the broadcast. Arun, all right, so you were talking to us about what can exactly be expected from Modi 3.0, whether the invitations have already been extended to those who will be taking oath today and those who are sitting in the opposition.
Well, that's right. So I was saying that, of course, they would have given the invite to all the opposition parties, as Narendra Modi has been saying that in democracy, all the political parties and especially the member of parliaments have roles to play. So therefore, in that regard, they would have given invites to everybody. But I'm not sure how many opposition party leaders are going to attend the event, because many of them have already said no, that they will not be attending the event. And so I think more importantly, the people who are going to attend this are from different sections of the society, different walks of life. There will be some prominent personalities from different strata of society. In fact, we're given to understand that the Central Vista project workers have been invited for this. Rat miners, who in fact helped to rescue those 41 people in Uttarakhand, they also will be part of it. Transgenders will be part of it. And all those beneficiaries who got benefits from the government schemes, they will also be invited for this event. So you will see so many people from different strata of society will be becoming part of this oath-taking ceremony at Rashtrapati Bhavan. So just to make this a significant event, and also ensuring that this is not only a VIP or VVIP event, they have invited all these people who have, in fact, worked for the society, who have, worked for the development of the country in different aspects of their work.
Right, Arun. Also, if we were to talk about the kind of messaging, the kind of significance that Prime Minister-elect Narendra Modi has always given, prominence to, support to, is the inclusivity. As you have clearly mentioned that apart from the foreign dignitaries who will be there at the mega event today, there are people from different walk of lives. We have already flashed it to our viewers yesterday that people who are into the sanitation work are also being invited, apart from the beneficiaries who have benefited from the earlier schemes of the government. Apart from that, as Arun Dhanta also told us, the workers, the labourers of the Central Vista project, all of them are going to be attending the mega oath ceremony. They all have been invited. Arun, but if we were to talk about the kind of inclusivity messaging that Prime Minister always, sort of give a push to, what exactly can be expected from today? Because how many people exactly have been invited for the oath ceremony today?
Well, 7,000 to 8,000 people are invited for this oath-taking ceremony. And as you rightly mentioned, that those people are from different walks of life. And also, of course, this event is not only for the VIPs and VVIPs. So all these people, when you have the beneficiaries of government schemes, when you have sanitation workers, when you have rat miners, transgenders, Central Vista workers, when they all are attending this event, it becomes a very significant event. No, it also shows the mindset of the government, that how important they consider every person from different strata of the society. I think that is why it is significant, and also importantly, of course, when you are becoming part of the history, winning 3 successive elections, it makes it very special. And also, of course, when Prime Minister was talking about the 4 castes which he considers, one, youth, women, a farmer, and youngster, and women. So these are the 4 castes which he talks about. Also giving a message to the opposition parties who were demanding that caste census, by putting out this, that for them everybody is together, and therefore the inclusive growth or inclusive development is something which is significant, which is important for his government. So I think that this is the messaging which they are giving.
Right, Arun. And if we were to talk about the SAARC leader, SAARC is basically the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. If we were to talk about the leaders who are all prepared to attend the mega event slated to happen today at 7:15 p.m., who all have already arrived, who all are slated to arrive today in the morning and later today?
Well, see, post 2014, this has become a trend. We saw even in 2014, the SAARC nation leaders were present in the oath-taking ceremony of PM. Even in 2019, similarly in 2024, we are seeing that the leaders of the SAARC countries, which of course include Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, Mauritius. So all these leaders, state heads are going to be part of this ceremony. Some of them, of course, have already arrived in the national capital, and perhaps few of them would be arriving today. But of course, the messaging is very clear from the BJP side, that for them, their neighbors, and also their compulsions and many other things which is important for them, they of course are going to be considered here, and therefore we are seeing this new trend which they have started in the oath-taking ceremony, also showing the foreign countries the trend and traditions that we follow in our country.
And also what's interesting to see is that Moizu is also coming back for attending the oath-taking ceremony of Prime Minister-elect Narendra Modi as well. Arun, if we were to talk about the security that has been beefed up on the ground, please walk us through all the details that you have received from your sources. All right, so I think we lost connection with Arun over there. We'll try to reconnect those lines, but as far as the SAARC nations are concerned, as told by my colleague Arun Dhanta, the national capital is going to remain on high alert today, as the SAARC, which is South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation leaders, are all prepared to attend the mega